Hi there, this is Krcha, platform Evangelist at Adobe. Today I'm going to show you how you can actually control the computer software running in Flash or Air using your phone. So how it works is that you basically connect from the phone to the computer using local Wi-Fi connection and peer-to-peer. And it's pretty simple, so let's have a look. So I have already here the mock-up of application which is looking like this. And here we can see some arrow which we are going to rotate using the phone accelerometer, and also we have some text area where you can see the log information and also some debug button for sending some data to the network. So let's get to the code. So first of all we have to define some net connection. So I just call the variable connection and it's gonna be net connection class like that. Then we need some group, so you actually put all the devices which you want to connect together into one group, and this group is instance of class net group. The other thing we want to add is some kind of Boolean variable saying is connected, and we're gonna set it as false. And then we just prepare the function connect, which is going to do the connection itself. So we just initialize the connection variable like that, new net connection, and we add event listener. So we're gonna listen to net status event, net status, like that, and we just connect. So normally if you are doing net connection, you are connecting to some kind of server which is somewhere on the network, but with the local peer-to-peer connections it's different. You just say that you want to connect to RTMFP protocol like that. So I'm not specifying any server, I'm not specifying anything, I'm just saying that I want to connect to RTMFP protocol. No server, nothing. So right now we just defined a net status event, which is pretty simple. Like that, and we're gonna log some information coming from the network. Event info code, and then we also switch through the event info code to actually react on the events coming from the network. So one of these events is called net connection connect success, which means that we actually connected to the net connection itself. Then we have to define net group connect success, which means that we have successfully joined the group. And there we are going to define one more, but on this later on. So right now when we actually connect to the net connection, which happens actually when the application is complete, where we connect to the net connection, we actually call the function setup group or join group, doesn't matter how we call it. And in this function setup group, we're gonna set up the group, obviously. So what are we gonna do here? First we define a group specifier, which is some kind of class used for the group specification, very simply said. And we give it some name, so let's say some local device connections, and we also define one thing here, that we want to enable routing. Routing is a very cool method on the for the device communication on the local area network, because it has the lowest latency possible you can get using group functions. Then we say that we want to enable IP multicast member updates, which means that we are communicating on the local network. And we also say that we want to add IP multicast address, which takes care of the communication on the local area network. And all the devices communicating together should be on the same or must be on the same IP multicast address. So the lowest IP multicast address is 224.0.0.0 on the port 1024, but we're just gonna make it a little bit unique. like that, and we're gonna change the port a little bit, for instance like that, just to ensure that no one is going to interfere into the communication in our application. And the last thing we enable here is multicast. Maybe we want to use it, maybe not. So we'll see. Anyway, right now we just need to define a group. So we say new net group, and here we pass net connection and also group spec with authorizations. That means that we can send and receive the data. So it's not only read only. That's the case of without authorizations. And we also hook it up to event listener. So I just choose this and say add event listener, net status, like that. And we are ready to go. So right now we are connecting to the network. Then we are setting up the group here. And the last thing obviously is going to connect this button with a handler. So when we click on the button, we are going to actually send some data to the group, and then we are going to receive the data here in the net status switch. So first of all, let's check if everything is working. Okay, so right now we can see that we have connected to the group, and we can also see that when I launch two windows, that we can also see that these two windows have connected together. So what we're gonna do here in the last step is that we add the click handler, and when we click on it, we actually send some data to all neighbors, and we're gonna use directed routing for that, and we're gonna just send some random number. So I just round it and generate some random number, like from 0 to 360, and when we receive this number, we're gonna rotate the arrow. So net group send to notify. That's the event where you actually get a message from the directed routing. So we just say arrow rotation, and here we just pass event info message, which contains the angle we want to rotate the arrow. So when we open this app in two windows and click on this button, you can see here that we are actually rotating the arrow by the information we get from this window to this window. So right now it actually works in two different windows in this browser. But what we want to do is to actually send the information about the accelerometer from this device to the application here over the local Wi-Fi using the peer-to-peer. And it's pretty simple. So what we have to do for this is that we have to prepare another application, and it's gonna be ActionScript mobile application, and here we just copy and paste most of the code we actually wrote here. So I just take this complete code and copy it here. We just add imports and also group specifier, and that's basically it. The only difference here is that we actually connect here in the constructor, and once we connect, we also set up some listener to actually listen to accelerometer. So we also create new variable called accelerometer, like that. We initialize it here, and we add event listener, like that, accelerometer event update, and we can just create new function on Excel, for instance. This is what we're gonna define here at the bottom of the code. Accelerometer event And the last thing we actually do here is that we say group, send to all neighbors, and we're gonna send the event accelerometer Y, which means that we are rotating the phone like that. So we want to reflect the rotation to the arrow which is displayed on the display here on my laptop. And we're gonna multiply it by minus 90 degrees and also round it. And that's it. So when we launch it, it actually launches on the device. So we just click run. Right now it's copying the application to my Android phone. And it's opening the application. And when we open this application here, we can see that they actually hook up together, and I can control the arrow here from my phone. So that's basically it. And now you can imagine the power of these local Wi-Fi connections, because you can do much more here. You can basically do any kind of controller, joystick, virtual joystick. For instance, you can display cards in the poker game in the local Wi-Fi network and so on. So it's pretty nice to actually be able to control your app from the mobile phone. It can be app not lying only on the desktop here, or it can be app, for instance, on some plasma screen on the street, or it can be also app, for instance, running on the Google TV and so on. So that's basically it. Local connections over peer-to-peer Wi-Fi. And I thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.